Patrick is in Ohio. Hi, Patrick. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Good afternoon, Dave. How are you doing this afternoon?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
I need to ask you a twofold question. I've worked at three companies, and they did have 401ks, but none of them had a match. And the people I was in one for a little bit, and then I got out of it. I didn't think it was doing real well. And some other coworkers said the same thing, and they dropped theirs. And I was just wondering if it's always a good thing to be in a company 401k that maybe doesn't match, or you don't feel that the performance is good. And my second question is government's always in our business, but what happens if the government offered some type of retirement where we were able to put something in tax-free, tax-deferred, and we had a guaranteed 4%? I know that's not, a 6 to a 12% that maybe after a historical return of, over years, but it always tucked away, it never lost, and it would give people confidence to put something in because they would see it maybe always growing versus that it's up 1 month and down the next.
Well, that doesn't exist unless you're talking about some kind of insurance. Right. I mean, today the government doesn't have that.
They don't
and besides
have that,
you really wouldn't. You really don't.
Whatever.
If you just pull up a calculator online and put in $100 a month at 10% or 12%, and then put in $100 a month at 4%, and you'll see real quickly why you don't want to do that. It's a bazillion dollars difference. I mean, it's not four times as much; it's 100 times as much. Because when you're talking about compound interest, it works on a curve. It does not work on a straight line. And so, in other words, 12% is not 3 times as much as 4%. It's more like 30 times as much. And so it blows your mind how much a few percentage points makes. So you would never take that low percentage. As far as the 401k goes, here's the thing to remember. The 401k itself is not an investment. It is how the investment is treated under Section 401k or Section 401 subsection K of the IRS code, meaning that you're allowed to have money taken out of your check and put into an investment pre-tax, and then it grows tax-free if it's a Roth 401k, tax-deferred if it's a regular 401k. Now, what's been underperforming is not the actual 401k. It's more like the coat that is keeping the investment warm. It's the investment inside the coat that sucked. If you had an underperforming 401k, what you really had was an underperforming investment in your 401k. Does that make sense?
Sort of. And what do you mean by that? Like you
okay, pretend like there's a cookie jar, and that's the investment with the cookies. The cookies in the cookie jar are either good or bad. The jar doesn't determine that. The jar is just where you park the cookies. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
you could have peanut butter cookies, you could have sugar cookies, you could have chocolate chip cookies, and they could be good cookies or they could suck. But the jar didn't cause any of that to happen. The jar is just where you have them. The 401k is the jar. The investment is the cookies.
So we basically, at the 3 places I worked at, they didn't really have the right investment.
Or you didn't pick the right ones from the ones that they offered.
Right. There was 4 on each one of them.
No, there was 4. There was 4 general portfolios on each one of them, and you picked the wrong portfolio. But you probably could have gone even inside of those 4 portfolios, meaning they had a low risk, a medium risk, and a high risk, or something like that. And that high risk would have had a group of mutual funds in it that would have sounded a lot like what we tell you to do, and you would have done a lot better had you been in that versus the one you were in. And so what you're looking for is you're looking for mutual funds inside the 401k, whether there's a match or not. A match is helpful, obviously, because it's freaking free money. But you're looking for mutual funds inside the 401k that have a good long-term track record. And I personally, in my 401k here at my business, do this, and I recommend that other people do the same thing, that you put it in 4 types of mutual funds. growth, growth in income, aggressive growth, and international. And that's the cookies. Okay, that's some in a chocolate chip cookie. You want some peanut butter cookie. You want some sugar cookie, and so on, right? Some Oreos or whatever. I'm just making this up as I go here. But the bottom line is that you're trying to get different kinds of investments that have good long-term track records, and they fall under the heading of growth stock mutual funds inside the 401k. You can also do that inside a Roth. And if you don't like the options that your company has available to you to invest inside the 401k and there's no match, then you could go to just a Roth IRA, do the exact same thing, and pick from any of 8,000 mutual funds. So certainly you could get a good one that way. And if you need some help doing that, or even selecting the stuff inside your 401k, the people we recommend in the investment world, we call SmartVestor Pros. And if you go to SmartVestor at DaveRamsey.com, click on that. It'll drop down a little fill in the blank thing. You fill in your stuff. It'll drop down a list of the people that we recommend in your area, the SmartVestor Pros, and then you can sit down with them. They'll have the heart of a teacher, not the heart of a salesman, and you'll hear stuff very similar to what I just outlined to you here. And the different types of mutual funds that have long track records: growth in income, aggressive growth, and international.